Good morning, everyone. This is the Abundance Oracle. You know where to find me in the morning. Please like, share, and subscribe. You help me with subscribing, and I help you with some ideas. And this morning I had one important little tip that I used to use and still continue to use. Going from being a single broke mom to now a 1%er. So when there wasn't much money, I challenged myself to always be looking for a way to even decrease my spending. Because in the beginning, you have to do two things. One is increase your income, and two is decrease your spending, because you just have so much you need to build. Cheers. Not my best happiest cup, but my second happiest cup, because this is my mother's happiest cup. I got both of them. I get the treasures when people pass on. People don't think of all the little treasures. Okay, so one of the things I would do is I would make like casserole-ish type of things, or add pasta into things. So if instead of having rice, let's say you had a little bit of chicken or something, and you had some rice and some vegetables. Okay, well, instead of making that, I know this sounds so like a minute detail, but this is the basic little stuff you have to think about when you're trying to save your pennies, your dimes, and your quarters to add up to being able to invest dollars, $10, $100, and then more, purchasing real estate and accumulating and earning money. Take and make a base of the rice instead of a side of the rice, the base of the rice. Then you take and you put a lot of vegetables on, because those are less expensive. And then instead of putting a hunk of chicken or a hunk of a hamburger, or at some point in time you can get, I'll tell you about my grandma's favorite, my favorite of my grandma's, how to make a meal. Or if you're gonna have chicken, slice it in pieces and spread it out. And what my grandma used to do, Crazy Nana, born 1902, she made it through the Depression, and she used the same type of philosophy to squeeze by and start saving money. And she used to take care of us down the road, all of us grandchildren, and when the moms were working hard, and she said, oh, they never leave me with money for food. So she would get really creative. So my favorite of Crazy Nana's is mashed potatoes. She made really good fried potatoes too, but mashed potatoes. And then she would boil in some water ground beef. And she wouldn't buy the expensive 80% ground beef. She would buy the less expensive 70 or 75% ground beef. Get a little bit of that fat in there, because it's really good for young growing kids to have some of that fat, because they run around and they play so much. At least we did, kick the can and get outside and ride our bikes and everything else. Okay, so she would add some spices on top of that. And she would know how to scoop the beef off and turn that little fat and a little bit of water into a gravy mix. And some people are just really good at making gravy. I'll tell you, I never got that gene passed down to me, how to make good gravy mix. But anyway, so start to have your meals maybe twice a week be less expensive and save that money. And when I save money, you're going to say, oh, it's so expensive now. Yeah, I don't care. Whether it's saving $1 and you're going to put it into your old coffee tin. Oh, coffee's expensive. Okay, put it into your old sugar little plastic thing. Whatever. you need to keep that building, building, building. And the more you build, even if it's $1, $5, $1, $5, you'll start to become proud of yourself. And I'll tell you what I do with that money. I buy, or right now especially, I used to do this, I would buy for the future. What does that mean? It means if you believe what the government's telling you, it's 3%, 2%, 1% inflation, but that's on a quarterly or monthly basis. So right now, with food, gas, your insurance, everything's going up. So if you can stock up on the food that you can use, it is going to be at least 10% cheaper this year, now, today, at these high prices, than once inflation starts. And this, we've had some inflation, but you ain't seen nothing yet, girl. It's going to get worse. Okay, so it is as if you're a very smart investor. If you can buy food that's 10 or 15% lower today than next year, it's as if you took your money and invested it in a stock that made that much money. Now, right now, everyone's saying, oh, the stock market's going up. Do you know it's so concentrated, the stocks that are doing well, that a lot of people, the average investor that has mutual funds or target date retirements, things like that, a lot of those investments don't do quite as well. And I will at some time explain why that is. But it's finagling, so be careful. So you're better to buy the food and slowly stock up for ahead of time. And it also makes a safety net for you. You won't have to buy as much food in the future if there's a problem or you get laid off or your company goes under. If you're working for other people, then you're subject to them being the ones that get to say what happens with your life. And we will start to have, as you build and build and build, we will start to have conversations about how your next step in life is. And a lot of people say, well, get a house. I would say only get a house, because right now the rental numbers are cheaper than the purchasing numbers. Only get a house if you can rent out part of that house, or if you can have roommates. Maybe if you're a single mom, have another single mom with a kid or two, right? Or a single dad. Take and figure that out. Another guy, maybe you can divide the house sort of in half. Maybe there's 4 bedrooms. So one single mom with bunk beds for her little kids, and another single mom with bunk beds for her little kids. You can share together. It's going to be very annoying because some people are cleaner than others, but you have to remember this is for your children and for your future. And you will learn to practice patience and tolerance and good things in life. All right, this is the Abundance Oracle. And those of you that are retired, think of this also. Why not have one of your longtime friends move in with you? Or your spouse passes away. Have another friend that you've known since childhood or just met 2 years ago. Move in. Always have a lease so you can get rid of them. Most states allow you to get rid of people living in your house with you, if you're the owner of the house, that you can evict them some states are within 24 hours if they do certain things, or 48 hours. And you're allowed to notify them. You have to document the notification, and you can put all their stuff out on the side of the road. So you need to know the things that you can do to protect yourself too. Because right now, if you're a single person, a lot of times the buck stops with you. You're the final stop for the family and decisions. This is the Abundance Oracle. Love you all. Please subscribe. Bye-bye.